Well, a look at your target entry still shows the fact that the first question that asks you, and you say you wanted to be like the mechanic, man, you eventually became an engineer.
Yeah.
So they are similar. I would like to know, you went to Baptist Secondary School in Abeokuta. Can you tell me some of your contemporaries, your relationship with them, and
you won't know a lot of my contemporaries, but I will mention a few of them that you will know. Dr. Shule was 2 years my senior.
Okay.
The President Olu and Ajibola, who was the Attorney General, and the judge of the
World Court,
judge in the Hague, was a year my senior. Well, they left school a year ahead of me. MKO Abiola, who else in his class? MKO Abiola, Ola Yusuf now, who else? Well, Maimi is dead. Dijare Shule is dead. Those were his classmates. They were a year my senior, but they were the one that I left in school because they were in Form 6 and I left in Form 5. So they never accepted me as their mate, even though and I used to pull their leg. I said, well, look, you were my senior, but I left school before you. And we were great colleagues. We had this tradition in our school that if somebody is senior to you by even 1 month in the school, you will regard him as senior until you die. And I regard them as my senior. But also, they regard me as time went on in life that I had something to offer. The President Olubara was my classmate. It's now an Oba. I have to watch what I say about him. But Olubara was rascally when we were in school. And,
oh, you're rascally too?
No, I wasn't really. And I wrote even in my book, My Watch, what Olubara did to me. Olubara, he hadn't really been any taller than he was then, but he was a bully. He will look at you and say, "Press up your hands." Now, I was eating my groundnut, and he saw me eating groundnut and said, "Shegun, well, where's the groundnut you are eating?" I said, "It's finished." So he said, "Raise up your hand." I raised my hand. He looked at my 2 side pockets and my back pocket, and there's no groundnut. So he left me and I was going, but I was stupid. I didn't allow him to go far. I put the groundnut in my front pocket, which is a bit hidden, and I took out a couple of groundnut. He looked back, said, "Shegun, you are still eating groundnut. Stop there." So he came and said, so he found that I kept my groundnut in my inner pocket, and then he said, he was putting his hand and said, "Don't take it all, because I know you're a thief. Just take 1 or 2. No, but with all these people, we are friendly up till today.
What about M. Kabila? Do you have any nostalgic experience?
Oh, yes. Oh, of course. Even now, Olubara and I, we remember all those things. Olubara's father was a carpentry master in school. And he had, like all human beings, he had those who are his favorites. It doesn't matter what they did. Like the present Olu Sanyadosum, He was a favorite of our carpentry master, Olubara's father. Olubara himself was not a favorite. I was not, because I would do well in other subjects. But when it comes to, and all are added together, when it comes to carpentry, I will get something like 55. People like Olu will get 68. And it doesn't matter whether he took his carpentry work home to do, or he did, or he did it there. He will still get 68, 69, and I would labor to do my own there. So I get 55, 54. I'm lucky. And we still talk about it today. We say, well, look, you know you are. And I will say to Olubara, I say, well, you know your father, I believe he's in the purgatory because God will not allow him to go in yet because of what he did to some of us.
Okay, sir. What are when you look at the education system at that time, the education system you had, and what we have now as education system in Nigeria, what's the difference? Can you...
I don't know. I think the one difference is that we were not more than 30 in the class. We were not more than 30 in the class. So, and the principal of our school, we entered when an American, Griffin, was in charge of the school, and within a year or two, the school was taken over by an acting principal, E.L. Akisanya, a Nigerian. And E.L. Akisanya knew the name of every one of us, 270. He knew the name of everyone. And that also put the fear of God in you, because anywhere he saw you, anywhere, in town, in church, in school, I would say, Segun Obasanjo. If you're the principal of your school, there's nowhere you can hide. And that was, and how did he do it? In your first year, he will either come and teach one subject or the other. And by that, he knew your name. And he had that fantastic memory of remembering the name. And of course, we had devotion every day. We have religious knowledge, whether you are from 1, from 2, from 3, from 4, from 5, from 6. We have religious knowledge every day. It's very good. A bit boring at times, but we enjoyed it. I think Friday it was only hymns and choruses. Very good. They were very strict about discipline, what we could do, what we could not do. We were talking of rascals in school. MKO, may his soul rest in peace, was not one that you will not say he wasn't a bit of a rascal. But we all enjoyed it. He had fun because he used to play Agidigbo. But he was also bright enough that in addition to playing Agidigbo, he wasn't lagging too far in his class. He would be among the first 6 in his classes. And he could go all night, all weekend. But these were things that we enjoyed in those days, and we'll remember them with nostalgia. How we live, what we do, what pranks we play. I didn't play much of a prank. But it was interesting. It was interesting.
In Abeokuta here, Abeokuta has really transformed.
Yes.
I want you to look at it from the ancient when you were in secondary school, and now that it's become a cosmopolitan.
No.
Tell me your favorite sport or area that you normally.
Let me tell you two things about that. There were two schools in Abeokuta then. Abeokuta Grammar School and BBHS. And we were great rivals. Beko and Fela were in school at the time that I was in school. Of course, their father was the principal of their school. There was great competition between us. We believed that they were not well behaved. So we called them Abeokuta Garawa School. They believed that we were not good enough. So they turned our BBHS, which is Baptist Boys High School, to buy, borrow, hire, or steal.
Buy, borrow, hire, or steal.
But it was a healthy competition. When we were in school, the Oyewole brothers came back to Abeokuta, and we were envious of that.
Really?
You have two brothers, all of them with degree, both of them with degree, one degree in physics, one in chemistry. And we didn't have the luxury of, I think it's Otunla who came back from Manchester University. I don't think we even really had somebody to teach us physics. We had Ford was teaching us, he's an American, teaching us biology. But they were, at the time, better placed in terms of quality of teachers than we were. Most of our teachers were higher elementary. They are a product of Igbo Baptist College. But what they lacked, I would say that, what they lacked in higher education, they made for in their commitment to duty. And they were real good teachers. Most of them went to university after they have been our teachers in primary 1, primary 2, in Form 1, Form 2, Form 3. Some of them joined politics, like Shogbe, he joined politics, like S.A. Tinubu, he joined politics. Some of them didn't join politics, they went and they went for higher studies and came back. Some of them continued in teaching. Some of them, like Kopola, who died not too long ago, or some of them went into public service, like Adubi, who became I think he's the Accountant General, Auditor General of Oyo State government. I think you have people like that, and you never really forget them, what they have, the role they have played in your life. And then, as I said, the contemporaries, like you said, all of them.
The first lady that caught your fancy, that stole your heart away, and eventually traveled to, you asked her to join you in London, what did you see in her, this lady Akinlawo or so?
Akinlawo?
Yeah.
Well, my first wife is Akinlawo.
Yes, that was me. That you now took to join you in London.
Okay, so I don't know that you have done your research. Now, what happened was, I have always not liked to join the Joneses. That has always been my. I want to be different. I want to. So, when we were in school, we had BBHS, And most of the students of BBHS go to Idiaba. Idiaba is a Baptist girls teachers training college. And most of them go there to look for girlfriend and look for a wife. And I decided I wasn't going to go to Idiaba. That's the normal, the common. I want to be different. So Remy Akilawan was going to, they just opened Abeokuta Girls AGGS, Abeokuta Girls Grammar School. And it was in Form 1 of when I was in Form 4, I think. We were in the church together, in the choir. And then by the time I left school in Form 5, she was in Form 2. And we've been talking to ourselves and all that. And then when I was in Form 5, he had a brother who had just come to the school, Yomi. Yomi, may his soul rest in peace. Yomi had died now. And then, of course, I being the librarian, and also having a little bit of interest in Yomi's senior sister, I pay a little bit of attention to Yomi so that he can deliver
use the library.
in the library. He can deliver message to, and that's really what happened. And we continued. Of course, Remy has senior brothers. Tunde, who went to our school. Tunde actually was MKO's classmate. They were a year my senior. And then Biodun, who went to government college, Ibadan. And then he has a senior sister. But that's what. And the father was a wonderful, wonderful man. The father was working in the railway, and I remember when I went to introduce myself, and Papa said, "Look, I don't mind what you do, but you just make sure that she has good education." I said, "Papa, leave that to us. She will have the best education that she may want to have." That's, since you have found out a little bit.
In London, you got married, right? Without the parents' knowledge. How will you describe your relationship with her in London before you left for India?
With her in London?
Yeah.
We were married.
Yes.
Yes.
How did it go? I mean.
Oh, no. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. And when I was coming from India, I came through. But she was my wife also.
Yeah.
I think so. How can you talk about the relationship with my wife?
I'm just trying to know one thing about the father. You're a man of steel, a military man. I want to see the soft side of you. How romantic you are, you know.
Well, I'm typically a village boy. And if you, I mean that. If you take me out of the village, you can't take the village out of me.
Yeah.
I think that is the truth. Now, so, well, in the village, the way I was brought up, affection is not a thing to be publicly dramatized. That's not the way we are brought up. I love you, I like you, I show affection, and my affection to you is a personal and private thing. The first time I went to UK and saw boys and girls kissing in the public. It was, I showed that, look, this is on people kissing. No, it's not on. So, but that doesn't mean that I don't love you. I know that my father loved my mother, but I never saw them
Kissing openly.
kissing openly. Now, I'm not saying it's wrong or right. I'm just saying that that is not our culture. And then, and if it's your culture, of course, that is your culture. I wrote in my memoir, my watch. My first time I went to UK, and I was a cadet, and then we in Aldershot, we had, you have a girlfriend, and I had a nurse as a girlfriend, and I'm not used to going to cinema. So, and what do? You either go on Saturday to dance, or you go to cinema. So we went to cinema, and I'm not a cinema man. And then when we got to cinema, I was sleeping. And then that was the end of that was the end of the association. Yeah, we said, look.
His Excellency was talking about his peers at school and all that. I saw all these names from Ogun State, Abeokuta mostly. Is there something, about Ogun State and Abeokuta that makes it possible for, people of your age at that time to find themselves in the very top in terms of leadership in Nigeria? Is there something the parents at the time did differently?
Let me take a light view of this. And once you drink Ogun River, or you step to Abeokuta, our ancestors have a way of making sure that you get along. Of course, that is a joke. But I think there are certain things that you should not overlook. Even for my own family, where I was first generation of educated, real educated people, that the influence of the missionary in Abeokuta must not be written off, must not be discounted lightly. And there are families in Abeokuta today where you have sixth, fifth generation of educated people. And that should not go unnoticed. It helped. The religious training, the Christian
veterans
establishment in Abeokuta should not be treated with light-heartedness. It has influence. And one other thing that I've mentioned it when I was growing up in the village. Yes, I know my father and my mother, but my uncles, they could discipline me just as my father could discipline me. And those uncles, if they beat me for doing wrong, it's so there's this communality which also help. And there's a little bit of healthy competition. The Alif families of educated, the Majekodumis, the Oguns, the Ademolas, they had healthy competition among them. And healthy help is not, it serves him right if he has any problem. It's a question of how do you help, what do you help, and all that. The Igbo families. Now, I think it is more of that. And you know, I always say that, again, jokingly, that Ijebus and Egbas are brothers of the same mother when the Ijebu wants to cheat Egba. But on a serious note, there's always cooperation and collaboration between Ijebus and Egbas. Because of our proximity, again I joke that when they say money is Ijebu money, that is counterfeit. And they never say it's Egba money. And Ijebu are having money, and the Egbas are not having money. I say, look, call the money Egba money as well. Whether it's counterfeit or real thing, just call it Egba money so that Egbas too can have money. But again, that's a joke. But on serious note, I think another thing is our proximity to Lagos. And that too should not be undermined. I went to Lagos in 1944 for the first time. I don't know, and life I saw in Lagos was an eye-opener for me. So I think all these put together, and then of course we had railway, don't forget. And Lafenwa used to be the entry port to anywhere in Nigeria. If you are going to the north, by train, you must go through Lafenwa. If you are going to the east, by train, you must go through Lafenwa. If you are going to the north, by vehicle, because the Lagos-Ibadan road was not in existence. So you have to go Aganavo. Those are the ones going to the east. That's how we call them in my time in the 50s when I was growing up here. So I think all those things taken together make for, and we are tolerant. I grew up in a village where, in my village, we had Igalas, Nupes, and Egun. In a small village, we had at least half a dozen different tribes from Nigeria. And our church and our mosque are almost side by side. I was born into Christianity, if you can claim to be born into Christianity. But during the Ramadan, I would join people who are fasting, and that I still keep till now. And even at one time, I decided I was going to Quranic school. It was the Koboko that drove me out of it. I think those communality, those working together, those ideas of seeing yourself not as different but as complementary. I like something that we were doing in the village, Aro, where the four of us, one day we go to your own farm, we walk, and you don't need to give us anything other than to feed us, only one meal. Next day we go to his own farm, next day we go to his, next day we come to mine. Now, what four people can do together on a farm in one day, you cannot do it alone in 4 days. And there's no doubt about that. What four of you can do together in one day, and the symbiosis of working together and all that. You can. The same goes for Isusu, which was one of the things that helped some of our people to build up their businesses and things. I think those they were traditional, they were cultural. Unfortunately, they are dying today. Maybe we should look for a way of reviving them.